Hello, everyone. What's going on? This is the Noah Gillian Show, and I, of course, am your host, Noah Gillian. So happy you decided to join in today. It is the 9th of January, 2023. And on today's episode, we're going to go over the Eagles clinching the number one seed in the NFC, as well as looking at the playoff bracket now that it has been finalized. And then we're also going to talk a little Phillies because we had a couple of transactions made by David Dombrowski himself. But joining the show, longtime contributor to the show, assistant coach at Seton Hill University, men's basketball, Connor Laverty. What's going on, bro?
What's up? What's up? Happy to be back.
Well, welcome back, brother. Great to have you back on. We got a lot of stuff happening in the Philly sports scene, so we had to get you back on and get talking on this. But before we get started, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It really means a lot for the podcast to grow. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, you can find the handles in the description below. Connor's is at Connor_Lav21. And then you can find mine and the shows in the description, like I said. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it, Con. So the Birds clinched the 1 seed. They finally they were playing around with their food for a little bit, but then they finally clinched the 1 seed and they earned the first round bye. How crucial do you think that is?
I definitely think it's crucial, especially in our situation, because we're so banged up.
Yeah.
You've had guys missing games. I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously, the home field advantage is also massive. No one wants to come into the link. So I think those two things, just the combination of those, giving us an extra week to get healthy, plus just having home field advantage locked up throughout the NFC is just, both of those things are huge for us.
Yeah, I think the home field is almost more important than the bye, like in general, just to kind of give the guys like a day or give the guys a week off. But it is going to be huge for Hurts because, I mean, Sirianni even said after the game, like he is not 100%, like he's still really sore. So I think now that he got in though, but I do think it was important that he played because like just knock the rust off, get a little bit more tape, just like, and he already was like back in the building yesterday, even though we had the bye watching tape. So like he's going to be ready to go. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, we're going to be ready to go. We got some guys coming back from injury. Lane Johnson, this is just another week for Lane to heal up. That's crucial. Yep. And then, yeah, the rest of the field is kind of set. So the NFC, obviously every other team's playing, only one team gets a bye. We got the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. Gonna be a big game. Then we got the Vikings and the Giants in Minnesota, and then we got San Fran and Seattle.
Yep.
Any of these games particularly interesting, catching your eye? Or you think it's going to go chalk?
I think the only game that I don't think will be a close one is the San Fran Seattle. I think
that spread's like 11 points.
They'll handle their business. I mean, Seattle's been solid. Don't get me wrong.
Division rival, third time playing them.
They're going to give them a fight, no doubt about it. But I think they'll end up winning by 7 or 10, maybe. I think all the other games will probably be a little bit less than that, if I had to guess. I know the Bucks have been bad, but
TB.
And then the Kirk Cousins is just, I don't know. The Vikings have not looked good recently, so we'll see.
Giants. If the G-men pull an upset,
then
we get the G-men coming into the link next 2 weeks, which would be phenomenal.
That'd be great for us.
The Cowboys I think are favored over the Bucks by I think like 3 points, which is interesting. They're going to be on the road in Tampa. Obviously, they led the season off with or the first Sunday night game was Tampa Dallas, and Tampa won like 17-10 or something. Pretty much bullied them around, even though they didn't look good. So that's going to be a really, really interesting game. I don't know. I want to give the Cowboys like credit and think they're going to win this game, but like you said, like they got Tom Brady on their side, and Mike Evans is finally coming along. A little too late for my fantasy team, but he's finally starting to spaz. And Dak looked like absolute garbage against the Commanders, but they bounced back pretty well. So that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
Like you said with the Niners, I mean, they're 11-point favorites. I could see Seattle covering, but I don't really know if I see them, getting anywhere close to we always say it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. So
Unless you're
especially,
just better. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. But Brock Purdy,
Yep.
we'll see. I know that's your number one.
He
He's your
doesn't.
number
I'm
one
not
fan.
worried about Brock Purdy. Kyle's not worried. I'm not worried.
That sounds good. So I guess the out of the three, we think the Vikings are probably on the biggest upset alert there.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably. Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think the NFC is a little bit more cut and dry than the AFC. We'll switch it over to there now.
Yeah.
Shout out to the New Heights podcast, bringing home the number one seeds in both. Have you listened to that at all? The New Heights with Travis and Jason Kelsey.
Just here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. They do a good job. But shout
Yeah.
out to them. They both get the one seeds, which is unreal.
Yep.
So the Kansas City Chiefs obviously are there. A really, really fun matchup. The Jaguars and the Chargers in the wild card round. I think out of every game, that might be the one I'm most excited to watch, which is crazy. But like you got Herbert and Lawrence, and then just like a plethora of great skill position players, good defensive players. How do you make that one out?
I don't know. It's a great question. I'm I like both quarterbacks a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
love Dougie P, obviously.
Yep.
Love what he's done there in Jacksonville. I don't know,
In
man.
Jacksonville, let's not
Yeah,
forget,
yeah.
no playoff
That's got to be
experience.
a close spread.
I wanted to say the Chargers were favored, but
I'm gonna look
yeah,
at
just
it.
get that up because I think that Jacksonville at home, like you said, Dougie P has won a ring. Brandon Staley has never been in the playoffs. Um, Brandon Staley was playing his starters like the whole game
It's a
last week.
pick 'em. Yeah, it's a
It's a pick 'em.
plus one Jags at home.
Give me you know what? That sounds like a freaky teaser to me. I'll put Jags +7 in there. Why not? Because that's going to be a great game. T Law is playing great. You were just a year too late on your T Law prediction, but he's
Urban Meyer just ruined it. Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Herbert. I think he's going to be a beast. Mike Williams picked up an injury in Week 18, but they think he's going to be back for the playoff game, so that's going to be crucial.
Yeah, give me.
Give you the Chargers.
You
I mean, heads up. Give me Herbert over Lawrence.
Yeah.
And that's when these tough pick'em games, I feel like you usually kind of say, all right, well, who's the better quarterback? And you can kind of, that at least gives you a lean into one way or the other.
That's a weird one, man. That's going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget, Joey Bosa is healthy. He's going to be back for a playoff game. Jacksonville's got two dog edge rushers, Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker. So it's going to be fun, man. That's going to be fun. That's the 4-5 matchup in the AFC. Your boy Joey Burrow has the Ravens coming to town. I think we both think they're going to handle business over Baltimore.
Joe Shiesty. Yep.
Lamar's probably going to be back. Does that change your tune at all?
That helps Baltimore, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll take Joe.
He hasn't he hasn't played in too long. I'll take Joe there too. And then what do you make of this spread? Buffalo -11 at home against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm seeing 10.5.
Okay. I was about to say that seems high.
No Tua. I mean, they're just.
That's true. Probably Teddy Two Gloves is going to be under center.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I don't know how much Buffalo's going to win by, but I think they'll probably take care of business too.
So just doing some math here. Well, who do you got in a Bengals-Buffalo divisional matchup? Because we're going to have that matchup again.
I got a great game. I don't know.
Think like a 27-24 heads up either way.
Yep, right around there. Just a great playoff football game. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's going to be great. And then, I mean, I think, I don't know. I just got to make an announcement. I totally took the loss on Denver this year. I was so out of it. And I thought about it. We talked about it in the last pod. It made so much sense to knock the Chiefs down. But until further notice, the Chiefs are going to win the AFC West until further notice. So I don't even care next year what happens in the division. They're going to be number one in my preview because they just do it every year. Did you see the ring around the rosy play they pulled against the Raiders in their game?
I don't think I did.
The whole huddle ran around in a circle, like shoulder to shoulder, ringing around the rosy, and then they sprint up to the line. Jerick McKinnon under center, Pat Mahomes behind him, takes a snap, flips to Mahomes. He throws it back across the formation to Kadarius Toney. and they score a touchdown, but it comes back on a holding. It's like, it doesn't even seem fair what they can do on
No,
offense,
it doesn't.
which is why I
Yeah,
think they're going to cruise to the AFC
I
Championship.
agree. Yeah.
Even the Chargers and Jags, we both like those teams, but you're not going to compete with Mahomes right now. And then, you know, I think they're going to be in the AFC Championship. That is going to be a great game. Either the Bills, we get a rematch of either game last year.
Yep.
The Bengals went in the AFC Championship game and won on a field goal, and then we get, if it's the Bills, we get a matchup of probably the best playoff game we've seen in recent
Yeah.
history.
Yep.
So yeah, I think the
I'm
AFC.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm amped up for the AFC playoffs. The NFC, I mean, the Bird should coast to the NFC chip. I'll just say that. I think it's going to come down to the Birds and the
I don't
Niners.
know about
You
coast.
don't think coast?
I'd like us to coast, but we're banged up, man.
We're banged up, but if Hurts is in the lineup, I have confidence.
We're not in a rhythm. I mean, I have confidence. I'm not saying I don't have confidence.
We're definitely, yeah.
We were in
Okay.
such a rhythm early on that
We're not playing our best
I
football
wish
right
we
now.
were playing like that coming into this. If we were playing like that, I'd say, yeah, we're gonna coast. But
I wish we were playing
we're
like
gonna
we
have
were.
to play good football. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we were playing like we did when we played the Packers, the Titans, the Giants, when we were dropping 35 points every single week. Like that was fun.
Yep.
We have yet to. I mean, we had 20 something this week, but we have yet to crack over. I mean, Gardner put up 34 on Christmas Eve, but still, that was yeah, that was a tough loss. I don't know. I mean, I think the toughest game. I don't want to look ahead to the Niners, but like that is going to be a really really good game.
Yep.
It's going to be fun though. I'm amped up. I feel great if the Birds got the 1 seed. I think that was just like the biggest thing. If they got the 2, or if somehow they ended up being the 5 and having to go to Tampa, that just would have been just D-Day for our chances for playoffs. So thankfully we don't have to worry about that, and we can kind of move on there. But overall, a couple milestones for the Birds this season. AJ Brown set the record for receiving yardage at a wide receiver, broke Mike Quick's record. Devontae Smith set the record for receptions. I mean, look how far we've came at the wide receiver position. Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, 2 different guys setting franchise records.
Yep.
Ballers in that respect. You had 4 guys with, I believe, 10 sacks. No other team in NFL history has ever had that. So overall, as a team, clicking in terms of that, but recent form, obviously not playing great. But we'll see kind of how that goes. But a good playoff field set. I think everyone that deserved to get in pretty much got in, even though the G-Men and the Seahawks kind of snuck in those 6 and 7 seeds, so we don't really have to worry about that. But yeah, so a lot of other action. Black Monday, as some people call it in the NFL, the day after the last regular season game. A lot of people got cut. Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know if you saw this, Arizona's head coach got fired. They also lost their GM. So
it's about time, Cliff.
What do you think of that job? Do you think that's a valuable, or you think that's a coveted job in the NFL?
I don't think many people are itching to coach Kyler Murray necessarily.
Yeah, what's good with Kyler, dude? I don't know either, because he should
I thought he was going to be really good.
Same.
Yeah.
I guess, like, I don't know.
He plays COD too much.
Yeah, I guess he's not studying.
Yeah.
I guess he's not studying film enough. I don't know.
I don't know.
The Texans also fired their coach, Lovie Smith, which is crazy. They've had 2 different head coaches in the last 2 years and fired them right after the season each day. They probably are going to get Bryce Young at the 2 pick. I didn't want to talk about the NFL draft for a few seconds, but they're probably going to have the 2 pick, take Bryce Young. So that's a kind of interesting job. You're going to have a brand new quarterback, a lot of cap space, but the Bears get the number 1 pick after losing 10 straight. So 2-parter here. A, is Justin Fields the answer at quarterback for the Bears? What do you think?
I think he looks pretty damn good.
Right?
He's got to obviously improve throwing the football, that's for sure. But we've witnessed firsthand here in Philadelphia what a running quarterback can do if they work hard. And I don't know. I think he's capable of it because he's definitely made some good throws. So, yeah, I mean, obviously him turning into a Jalen Hurts-esque player is like his ultimate ceiling. But
right.
But like he could, yeah, I think they're gonna roll with him if that's the question. Like, are they gonna go with him as their quarterback moving forward? I think the answer is yes.
I
Like,
think it's got to be right. They
yeah,
lost 10 straight games to end the year to get the number one pick, but I think that's more of an indication of their offensive line is absolute garbage and their wide
no
receiving.
weapons. Yeah,
Yeah, and
and
their wide receiving core stinks. I mean, they traded. This was just a god awful. They traded a second round pick to Pittsburgh for Chase Claypool, and due to the Dolphins having their first round pick voided,
32nd pick
that
now.
pick is number 32. So you basically traded a first round pick for Chase Claypool, who you didn't even use. So like that is just like some organizational malpractice, which is disgusting. But they got to trade the one, in my opinion. I mean, because
Really?
it's
Let's hear what they're giving up, or what are they getting back for it?
well, here's the thing. The Colts at 4 probably want a quarterback, right? I think Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are going 1 and 2. You got the Texans at number 2 who are going to take a quarterback. Number 3, I'm pretty sure is the Cardinals. It is the Cardinals are number 3, so they don't need a quarterback, but they probably going to take Will Anderson, whatever, or a defensive tackle, whatever. They might even deal out a number 3 too. I just think that there's going to be quarterback needy teams. If you're the Colts and you want Bryce Young, you're going to have to trade up the 1 to jump the Texans or you talk to the Texans and you say, listen, the Colts are going to make a deal with me right now for number 1. Do you want to up the offer or whatever like that? Because I think if you're the Bears, you're more than one piece away. Like you need, and the thing is, if you trade down from 1 to 4, you're still getting Will Anderson or Javon Carter, the defensive tackle from Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from Georgia, or an offensive lineman. There's some pretty good offensive linemen here. So you trade down to 4 and you pick up an offensive lineman, get a first round pick next year. I was seeing some people say maybe the Raiders. Where do the Raiders pick? They're like up there, right? They're probably like 6, 7, 8, maybe. Let's say if the 7, yeah. I would go to the Raiders if they're going to get rid of Derek Carr. I say, hey, listen, I saw someone throwing this around on Twitter. Give me like, I don't know, like Hunter Renfrow and a pick, or a number of picks, plus like an established player, and reboot your rebuild that way. I just think you gotta.
I'm not giving up the number 1 pick for Hunter Renfrow,
but you're also going to get number 7 and a future first. That's like my whole thing. And you're probably going to take the same player at 7-ish that you would if you, I mean, you're not going to take, you think, I mean, is Bryce Young or CJ Stroud like that much better than Justin?
I don't know. I don't watch college football that much. I know
right. But I would bet on a 3rd-year NFL starter as opposed to a rookie quarterback.
Well, they're not going to take a quarterback.
Right. But my whole thing is Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, regardless of teams, we're probably always going to go 1 and 2. Like there's going to be a market for the number 1 pick. But if they just take
like Jalen Carter or Will Anderson and sign a wideout, like you don't think that's a good decision for them? You think they're better off trading?
I just think like why? I just think if you have the opportunity to pick up additional assets while taking the same play, like they could trade down to 3 and take Jalen Carter, right?
Yeah.
And pick up a future first and take Jalen Carter at 3, pick up a future first, all that thing. I just think that's the route to go. Not trade out of the 1 completely. That's out of the question. You need to use this top 5 pick on someone that can bolster your team. But like, you need an offensive lineman. You need a wide receiver. You need maybe 2 offensive linemen. You probably need a defensive lineman. Like the defense, I don't know. They spent a 1st and 2nd round pick on the secondary last year. Like their defense is good. I wouldn't say it's great. They traded Roquan Smith. They traded Robert Quinn. Like it's not great, but it's good. And they teach defense really well in Chicago. I feel like they always have like a solid defense. They're never like god awful. But their offense, like you need offensive line. I mean, they're not going to have David Montgomery, but they're going to have Khalil Herbert back. Khalil Herbert can tote the rock. You don't need to worry about a running back. Justin Fields. The thing is, you could go like offensive line, 1-2 in your 1st and 2nd round pick, and then just totally build your offense around Fields and Herbert, running read option and running a lot. And then Mooney's fine. Mooney's good.
Yeah, but they need other options.
Right. They need someone. Mooney and Claypool are like, they're good 2s, but really good 3s, I think, in my opinion.
Claypool's not that good. Cole Kmet's a solid tight end.
Cole Kmet's a good tight end, yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I think they need a lot, so I would be trading out of the one if it were me, because I think Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are coveted that
Yeah.
highly in the league.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting just to kind of talk about. What's the rest of the? You have the order still up right there.
Yeah, I have a mock draft up.
What's the rest of like the top five looking like? I know Bears,
Bears,
Texans.
Texans, Cardinals are 3. Will Anderson to them.
Yeah, probably.
4th, CJ Stroud to the Colts.
Who's two?
The Texans, Bryce Young.
Oh, and then they have Jalen Carter going one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 5th is the Seahawks, Miles Murphy, D line from Clemson.
Yeah, he's a dog. Don't they have 2 top 10 picks? Or their
Uh,
other pick is their pick, which is probably like 14 now, right? Or something. 15. Because they made the playoffs as the 7 seed.
they're 20.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep.
So, but they're stacked. They're probably. I would almost think they're going to take an O lineman instead of a D lineman because who knows? They're kind of stacked up. They just drafted 2 nice corners and 2 tackles last
And
draft.
Rams taking an edge guy, Tyree Wilson from
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah. Speaking of the Rams, how about that? Sean McVay probably sounds like he's going to retire. Like, what did the Rams just like fall off the face of the earth without McVay?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Because Stafford will be back.
I think they're done.
Yeah. Cup will be back.
Will they?
Maybe Stafford's
they banged up, man.
Yeah, but they just traded the whole farm for Stafford. I know they won a Super Bowl, so
he's
like
old, dude.
Yeah, but he's I
don't know. I think they're done.
If McVay leaves, it's pretty close that they're going to be done.
Yeah, they're done.
Wow. What a time. What a time.
I know.
I don't think he'll be done forever, but
less than a calendar year.
He knows that the future is. I saw someone say what McVay's doing is like someone joining your dynasty football league, trading all their future first rounders and then quitting the league. Like
winning one championship.
Yeah, and then quitting the league. So that's going to be interesting. But no, that was pretty breaking news that came through. So that's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out.
Yeah.
But yeah, a pretty fun NFL season, I will have to say. Real quick, as we kind of wrap up, if you could think, I don't know if you remember many of your preseason thoughts, but I would say, do you have one thought that like, or one team you were on that you thought like was going to be good, or one player you thought was going to like take a leap that did, or one player that was getting overhyped? Do you have anyone on your mind that you can remember like that? Because if you want to, I know that I was in on the Jags, so I was happy about that, and I was in on the Broncos, so I was dead wrong about that.
Yeah.
Like week 2 or 3 was really amping up Trevor Lawrence. We obviously love him, so I was excited to see him finally turn it up. And then I had the Rams and the Broncos in the Super Bowl, so that was probably one of the worst preseason Super Bowl picks, but it was probably honestly one of like the more common ones. Yeah. So I thought that was probably some of my bigger misses. And then
I think I might have had the Niners. I might have said they were going to be really good. I mean, I think that wasn't like a hot take by any means.
Right. But that was with Trey Lance, that was probably a little bit hotter of a take, but
I just thought they were going to be good, and they obviously are.
Studley, yeah. Yeah, they're dominant right now.
Yeah. I mean, in fantasy, I was on Tony Pollard. I drafted him in 2 leagues and won a championship in both those leagues. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to have a fantasy discussion.
I liked the Broncos too, so I was dead wrong on that one as well. I mean,
I think a lot of people are in on him and then and then Russell Wilson to win MVP. So that was an interesting little twofer that everyone got wrong. I said
the Jets would be solid. I mean,
they were good.
I liked the Lions too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good one too. They looked really, really good. I'm going to be interested to see what they do in the offseason because they're primed to take a jump next year, I think. Because we're not sold on the Vikings, and who knows what the Packers are going to do next year. So I don't know. I think that's going to be really interesting. But like I said, we'll definitely have to get a fantasy only episode where we can I want to write down some things like just that we can take from the season and kind of move to next season, talk about performances, stats and all that. Tristan Cockcroft put like the top 10, top 12 PPR finishes at like quarterback, running back, wide receiver,
Okay.
tight end. There's some interesting nuggets. The
I'm
one
sure.
was the one was hilarious. Just real quick before we switch into some Phillies talk. He said Travis Kelce outscored the number 2 tight end in PPR scoring by 100 fantasy points. And no other position had a gap between 1 and 2 above like 20 points. So you talk about the value of Travis Kelce to your team this year was monumental.
Like
I was
7 more points a week, like 8
easily,
more points a
and
week.
I was in a draft where I was like, I'm going Kelce or Andrews at the turn. I'm going one of the two. And I took McCaffrey at 1. And then when it came around to the 2-3 turn, I was like, going to take, I think I took Javonte in the second round, and Kelce and Andrews were on the board. And I was like, one of them's going to come back to me. I'll take whoever doesn't. Kelce went, someone else. And I was like, great, I got Mandrews. Took Lamar like a round or 2 later and felt awesome.
Felt great. Yeah.
Even after the first 3 weeks, felt great. And then all of a sudden,
yeah.
the whole Ravens shut down. So yeah, we'll definitely get a fantasy only pod coming out pretty soon. But let's switch gears, because our boy Dave Dombrowski does not sleep. He does not sleep. I woke up to the news
Nobody's safe.
the Phils acquired an all-star reliever from the Detroit Tigers. I think the full terms was Gregory Soto and Cody Clemens, son of Roger Clemens, an infielder, for Matt Vierling, Nick Maton, and Donnie Sands.
Donnie Sands.
I think we got Donnie Sands from the Astros in a trade, but he hasn't. I think he had 1 at bat in the majors, so nothing really special from Donnie Sands. But Maton and Vierling were really good bench pieces for the Phillies in their World Series run. So I guess let me get your initial reaction to the deal. Obviously, the big piece in this deal is Gregory Soto. What do you think about the deal?
I like it a lot. It's funny because I was really excited when I saw the news on Twitter. I was like, I love lefties in the pen.
Yeah. That's our third now too. I got to ask you what you think about that. So I see what you're going.
You know what I think about that. So,
is that too many though? 3 lefties out of your what? 8 or you got 8 or 9? I guess that's
5. Yeah.
The Astros had 0 last year.
It's fine. They have ridiculous pitchers.
Yeah, you're right.
Righties, I don't care what arm they are at the end of the day, but
right.
But no, I heard the news and I was like, oh, I like that a lot. He, like you said, he was an all-star. I know he's got really good stuff. We play MLB The Show. He's throwing like 100, like he's like close to an Alvarado type.
And he's got a wipeout slider.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I love it. And I'm seeing people in the comments on Twitter saying he's overrated. He like, I don't know. And just saying that like he was only an all-star because Detroit needed one, which is very well
probably fair. But
he's an above average lefty reliever. Like he's above MLB average. So I love the deal. Giving up Maton. A lot of people liked him more than I did. I just think he's just very replaceable to me. He just doesn't like, there's nothing.
He's okay.
There's nothing that like we're missing by losing him, really, that we can't find in somebody else. Vierling hurts a little bit more, and it's funny. I know you and I both follow a lot of fantasy baseball guys on Twitter. I saw so much Matt Vierling hype right after the trade, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, like people like this much. Like,
if you pull up his Savant page, Baseball Savant, he's got like 98, 99 percentile, like max exit velocity, and like speed. 98 sprint speed. Yeah. Like expected batting average. He's in like the 85th percentile
speed in fantasy baseball.
Exactly. And they love expected stats to try to find guys to break out.
People who are expected to play, and he has a real chance to play there. He could be in a platoon with Akil Baddoo to start the year, but he was pretty poor last year. And his versatility in the outfield lets him be able to play anywhere out there. So he could be looking at everyday at bats there. He probably will.
Yeah, I think he will be getting everyday at bats. I think Akil Baddoo, is he
Riley Green's gonna start.
Yeah, he'll probably be out in right field. Riley Green, yeah. Akil Baddoo, okay. He's still on the I thought he got something else, but okay.
But
yeah, no, it's gonna be really, really interesting because he's like you said, he's got speed, he's got power. His fielding is good. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's
He's
good.
fast out there. Yeah.
And then yeah, and he's on the Tigers. I don't love the ballpark, obviously, for like hitters, but I think the major deal, I think the big deal about this is just another reliable arm who's not young, who's proven that he can produce in the MLB. So now you got a rotation or a bullpen of Sir Anthony, you got Jose Alvarado, you got Brogdon, you got Soto, you got Matt Strom, you got I'm forgetting someone too.
I don't even want to say
Coonrod.
Kimbrel.
Oh, I forgot about Kimbrel. Right. Kimbrel too. Like you're talking about 6, 7 guys who like are reliable. Obviously, knock on wood, probably 1 or 2 of them will get hurt at some point during the year. But that's what you bank on by acquiring so many of these things. And you just love Dave Dombrowski, man. Like that was probably the best thing John Middleton has ever done as owner of the Phils. Was he here when we won in 2008 and 2009? I don't know when he bought the team, but I think the best thing this guy's ever done is pick up Dave Dombrowski because
he's had us since '94.
Okay, he's been here for a while.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like he just understands how to, and I think a lot of people were getting on him after the first year. He wasn't really making many moves. His first trade deadline, I think our big get was like the lefty from the Mets, Garcia. What you remember that guy? I don't even remember his name. It was like who was it?
I said which guy?
It was like a lefty from the Mets. He had like greasy long hair. He was older. We got like was that? Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but regardless, the first trade deadline, he really didn't do much. The first offseason didn't really pick up like a ton of people. I feel like a lot of people were getting on him, and then all of a sudden, boom, Schwarber, Castellanos, boom, Trey, boom, Kimbrel, boom, Soto. Like he just understands where to go.
Just waiting, yeah.
He just plotted. And I think when he got there, Ken Rosenthal put on an article like his wish list from his first offseason last year, or his offseason last year. It was like a shortstop. He eventually got that this year. It was like bullpen depth. He eventually got it this year. It was like a left fielder, preferably a power bat, Schwarber last year. Like, and he's just knocking off all these different things because he understands what ball clubs need. A deep bullpen, starters who know what to do. Obviously, they performed really, really well, and then a deep lineup, and he's done it. And I'm just so happy for Phillies fans specifically that we get to root for a team with Dave Dombrowski at the helm.
Nobody's safe except Andrew Painter.
Nobody's safe.
Every single person in the farm system is expendable. Except
at this point, it's World Series or bust, man.
Painter, yeah, except Painter.
Let me just throw this hypothetical. I haven't seen this anywhere. I'm just thinking about it. Like a Mick Abel and like a Mick Abel and Johan Rojas for like Brian Reynolds. Would you do that? Or because we have Marsh, you're not really trying to
ask for more? Just because neither of those guys have seen the MLB.
Right.
But
they're also the Pirates.
This is true.
But regardless, like something like that, would you like what level of play? Like, I know it's hard to like say specific names, but like what level of player would like you have to deal Mick Abel for? Like a everyday starter?
Yeah.
Potential all-star, or is that like hoping for too much? Or would you be
like a good player? Like, someone who you know what you're getting from him. Like,
but you would be okay dealing him?
Yeah, I like his ceiling a lot.
Yeah.
I don't like, but you just never know with pitching prospects. Pitching prospects are so hit or miss, dude.
Yeah. I'd move off McGarry pretty quick too if we could.
He could be better than both. Like, you never
definitely
know.
Yeah.
Like, you just never know, but
that's
sure. What I mean. Like, I'd be fun. Like, but Painter just looks different, and he's like 19 years old. So like, you don't move that guy. But like you take your losses with him. If he doesn't pan out, I'd live with it. But
right. But also shout out to Dave Dombrowski. Like I mentioned, pulled off another deal that he got, and these are the deals that we never used to make. Like, we never used to make these deals. The Phillies traded left-handed pitcher Eric Miller. He was a 2022 minor league all-star. We traded him to the Giants in exchange for right-handed pitcher Junior Marte. That's Junior with a Y, Marte.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I saw someone tweet this guy, Ben H. Silver. He was like, why would you trade an all-star, for a 27-year-old rookie who had a 5.44 MLB ERA, that being Munoz? But you look at it, this guy, sorry, Marte. Marte, he throws hard. He tops out about 100. They love his spin rates, and his slider has phenomenal expected stats. We were talking about that. And he's got 97 percentile in preventing barrels, and he's got an 84th percentile in average exit velocity. So
Yep.
like these are the guys that like Tampa Bay goes after. And
Yeah.
these deals like the Phillies never, I feel like, used to make. And I'm so happy that this might not work out. You're trading minor leaguers, you know what I mean? But if he contributes in the MLB this year, that's a win. You just traded a minor leaguer who you're probably never going to play in the big leagues for a flame throwing righty who could probably get outs in the regular season when Kimbrel takes 2 weeks off or Sir Anthony needs 2 weeks for forearm something. So I wanted to throw that deal in there too, because those are the little deals that you look back on in the regular season and you're like, how did the Phils get this guy? He might not be good, but
I completely agree. And I just looked it up because I mean, I didn't know anything about him. I'd be lying to you if I told you I did.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I pulled up a tweet because
I'm seeing great stats. Like you said, like I'm seeing StatCast found a lot to like with him. That's what I'm saying. He had
an article.
Nearly a 48.6% ground ball rate, which is really good. And it says he might have had some bad luck with a 63.2% strand rate.
Okay.
And then in AAA, he had a 3.1 ERA and get this, a 37% strikeout rate, which is like, if you're at like high 20s, 30, that's like really good. And he had like, obviously that's unsustainable, but in 25 and 2/3 innings, like that's a decent sample size. Like
definitely. I mean, the best relievers are only going 60 innings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What if you still have that page up, what's his walk rates look like?
I was actually just on an article. I wasn't actually
okay.
on the StatCast. It was last year in the MLB. He only had a 20%, 21% strikeout rate. And his walk rate was 10%, which is not great. You want to be a little bit below 10. You want to be around 7 or so, but
definitely try to lower it. But that okay.
Yeah.
But no, that's like I said, it's just these moves
and like you said, it's depth. It's not like this guy's going to be coming in pitching high leverage situations for us. Like,
yeah.
So,
but yeah, so awesome moves from Davey D. We're gonna wrap it up there on the pod today. But definitely appreciate it, Con, hopping back on. We'll definitely have to have you on, talk a little fantasy football, of course, a little bit more. We're gonna get the MLB preview pod popping off soon. So yeah, we'll welcome you back pretty soon. But thank you all for listening.